SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
When banking starts to feel less personal, you know where to find us. Community Bank. Deep roots, local people, personal banking. Visit communitybank.net. Member FDIC.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Grateful for you tuning in as always. I know I sound like a broken record, but hey, I'm grateful, and that's like a triple platinum record, I'm telling you. Very, very happy that I've gotten to do this into my 9th year. Excited about today's guest. Before I get there, visit Mississippi.org. Celebrates Mississippians like no other. Take a ride on the Blues Trail. As I say, you'll end up in Liverpool for the Beatles invasion. And you can start down here with Muddy Waters, B.B. King. The list goes on and on. Go to visit Mississippi.org. Today's guest, all right, we're going into my world that I am the biggest fan of, and that is basketball. He's a new pal, a former NBA legend, an absolute renowned scorer, profound scorer, prolific scorer, best known for his time with the Denver Nuggets in the glorious 1980s, by the way. That is who's joining me today. A South Carolina native, a former South Carolina Gamecock star back in his time, who was selected in the second round of the NBA draft. Somehow, what was going on there? In 1976, quickly became a star forward in the league for the Denver Nuggets, a smooth and consistent forward. He became an 8-time NBA All-Star, and the NBA's leading scorer of the decade. Let's get that through your heads, of all the scores. Celebrated for his elegant mid-range game and quiet leadership. He scored well over 25,000 points in his NBA career. This is before the three-point line, guys. After his playing career ended, he worked for the NBA, served as an assistant coach for several NBA teams, has been involved in various business ventures, did a little acting. And we'll talk to him about that, how that came about. And over time has become an NBA ambassador, no doubt. He currently sits on the board of trustees at his alma mater, the University of South Carolina, inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1997. He's also recognized for his contributions off the court as a coach, mentor, and advocate, most importantly for community programs and helping kids out. Speaking of that, and giving back, he just recently made the road trip down to our Delta for our 15th annual Delta Soul celebrity golf and charity event that my wife and Gwen host, and he was so gracious to come and spend that time with us and give of himself. We're looking forward to joining him in September at his charity event. Please welcome in the one and only NBA legend, Alex English. Hey, Alex.
Hey. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you made it back home safe. Before you went home, though, you had a special deal you had to go back to Denver. What was going on there?
Yeah, well, my coach, Denver Nuggets coach, Doug Moe, who coached me for those 10 years in Denver, they had a celebration of life for him in Denver. So I went from Greenville to Memphis, caught a flight, went to Denver, and celebrated his life with a lot of the former players and people that worked with him, and we had an awesome time.
Coaches in your life, especially him, do you look back and go, you ever feel like that you sort of had the lottery with coaches, that you were able to spend time with ones that really mentored you rather than there's been coaches, there's been record label presidents I've had, people I've dealt with, ones that absolutely made the biggest difference in my life along the way. And some that I felt like were pretty evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you, what's been your body of work coach wise since you were growing up as a kid?
Well, when I look back, the coaches that I played for, they were all instrumental in my career in a different kind of way. I started in Milwaukee with Don Nelson, and he gave me an opportunity as a second round pick to get out on the floor and show what I could do. And I got to play for him for 2 years. And from there, I went to Indiana. And in Indiana, I played for a coach by the name of Slick Leonard, who was a totally different kind of coach. But the rocket ship of my career time was with the Denver Nuggets. And I got a chance to play for Doug Moe, who passed about 2 months ago. And I went to Denver. I was on my way to Denver to celebrate his life with a bunch of my other teammates, coaches, and friends. And it was a big celebration. It was shocking the amount of people that were there that I hadn't seen in over 30, 40 years. Wow. So we had a great time and celebrated his life. And he was a great coach. He was the one that gave me the opportunity to be expressive on the floor. He didn't limit, his system put me in the position to do what I did on the court. It was a perfect system for my skill. It was a run and gun and push the ball up the floor and a lot of cutting. And, I just excelled in that system. I'm gonna be going probably backwards. I like to start in your wonder years and figure out how it ended up being basketball and why. I would imagine other sports were probably tempting for you, but before I get there, I'm trying to. So you're a second round pick. You become one of the NBA's greatest scorers. In 10 years, you were the leading scorer for a 10-year period. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a publisher that was songwriter of the decade. So I get it. And the reason he is because he had more hits and made more money than any other songwriter, in the world at that time. And I was like, that's crazy. I mean, to be the guy. Second round pick. Was there a chip on your shoulder? Did you expect to go second round? I mean, it was so different back in those days compared to now. But, did you fall further than you thought, or did you land where you thought? I wasn't, aware of where I might go, first pick, second pick. I was just happy to be going. And I was the Milwaukee Bucks had 3 picks in the second round, and I was just one of those picks. So it was 2 other guys that came out that time and made the team as well. But, I was blessed to be in that position because I also had a general manager. His name was Wayne Embry, the first African-American general manager in the league. And he saw my ability. And he was the one that I was going to get cut my first year. They were, you could only have a certain number of roster spots. And, after going through preseason, they said, hey, we can't let this guy go. And they kept me there. They kept me there and paid me my $50,000 for that year. And
wow, that's incredible what you just said.
Yeah. And then I had the opportunity to make $60,000 the next year.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. And the next year, after feeling more comfortable on the court, knowing what I needed to do and practicing and working on that, I worked on that during the summer. So the second year, I got better and was a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of politics that the NBA has. At that time, the collective bargaining agreement would only allow a player to sign with another team with the idea that if he signed with another team when he's a free agent, if he signed with another team, his team that he left could match the offer. So I signed, as soon as that free agent period hit, I signed with the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers was paying me $130, $150, $170. I was in heaven. So I was like, okay, I'm gone. But I knew that they could match the offer if they felt that I was worthy enough to play for their team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
they didn't feel that way.
They didn't feel that way.
Well, what a mistake that is. Hey, listen, you live and you learn, and even they live and they learn. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. Alex English, Hall of Famer, NBA, in a 10-year stretch. Everybody do the math here. He was the most prolific scorer for a decade. More points than anybody. That says it all. But more than anything, the spirit of this man is special. And I've gotten to get to know him from afar. And I think that it only gets better from here. I'm grateful for a new friendship. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip around your Mississippi. We'll be right back.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
You already...
Grateful to have Alex English on my show. I've got a lot of friends I grew up with that was fans of Alex's. We used to love watching him in our college days and all that, running down the court. Of course, I remember him most vividly in those vivid colors of the Denver Nuggets. Before we go there, visit Mississippi.org. It's vivid. I'm blessed to be on the country music trail. I'm blessed to be a part of the fabric of the artists who learned so much from the greats, and I'm humbled by it. Go to visit Mississippi.org. Alex English is my guest today, Hall of Famer, NBA legend. But you know what? I say that and I see him blush because he knows he earned it, but he is a gracious man, and I can tell how he's lived his life. Alex, I can't thank you enough for coming down and helping us with the Delta Soul. It was a treat having you. Your jersey went for so much money the year before when you sent it without you in it. You know, people were wearing it. Jake Coker, who played quarterback at Alabama and won the national championship under Saban. He was wearing it. My buddy Matt Perkins at Pearl River Resort, he bought it. He was wearing it. Everybody was wearing your jersey all night. And so, it was finally good to have the guy that wore the jersey rather than just the jersey. And I appreciate you being so giving.
Well, it was an honor for me, and I really enjoyed myself there and, enjoyed meeting the guy who bought the jersey.
Yeah, I know. He's a character. I love him. He's like a brother now.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, and
yeah,
that jersey was at one point was a very popular jersey not because it was my number, but because of the colors. It was
so
a
cool.
rainbow color that it like brought all the people together.
Yeah, I thought that was the best.
Yeah, it was one of the best jerseys ever. The Denver Nuggets, they bring it back every now and then. But I was proud to be a part of that team at that time. And, coming down to Mississippi, to the Mississippi Delta, I had never been there before. And, it was an honor for me to come. And I enjoyed it. The people were very gracious and very kind and gave me a different impression of Mississippi.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. My son's a filmmaker, my oldest son, and he is in L.A., and he came and shot his movie down here. And one of the actors, Sherman Augustus, who's on Stranger Things, played in the NFL for a while, was his lead guy. And there was a girl that was one of the leads. And all her friends were telling her, you can't go to Mississippi. You know, she's an African-American girl and grew up somewhere on the West Coast. You can't go there. And she wasn't going to go, and then she did it. And she said this in Los Angeles when we were there at the film festival when they were up for an award, or Newport area over there in California. She said, "It's the biggest mistake. I can't wait to go back. It was everything that I was not told." And I love, you know, I love, as a music and culture ambassador of the state and leaving for 20 years and coming back, I love hearing that. Mississippi has made, you know, vast changes and along the way. And, you know, we grew up in the South, you and me. So, you know, we know the history in the past but we're in the present now and you can only look forward. So thank you for saying that. Let me ask you something. So take me back to your high school days. I want to understand as a scorer, and I'm asking this because Gerald Glass is an old friend of mine. He was at Delta State and he's back in Greenwood like you're back in your hometown. But he told me when at Greenville High, he would only average 12 points a game. And I was going, Gerald, what are you talking about? Because the minute he got into college at Delta State, before he went to Ole Miss, he was our biggest scorer. And we're going like, and then he, you know, played in the NBA for a number of years and all that for the Timberwolves. But I always thought the first shot he ever took made everybody realize, well, that's the guy that's going to score all the points. It took him a second. What was it like for you growing up? And I know you're in different systems. I know you didn't have the 3-point land back in the day. So when did they realize that you were the guy to be the one to put it in the hoop?
Well, I think, you know, I always did the little things that go with basketball because, you know, that's the way I was taught. And I worked on just a mid-range game because that's what I needed back then. I wasn't a great ball handler, so I said, okay, I'm going to focus on a 1-2 dribble to get my shot off. And what I really worked on that made me a prolific scorer is the technique of my shot. Just to go back a little bit, I was in a high school championship and we lost to the team, but we lost because the guy that was guarding me kept blocking my shot, and I would shoot the shot mainly from around my ear. And I said, well, I can't have that happen anymore. I can't be a good player if I'm going to get my shot blocked every time. So I got in the gym that year, and I started raising my shot up as high as I could take it and just releasing it with my wrist. So that made my shot almost like an 8-9 foot shot, which was more difficult to block.
Was that transition tough for you to change?
It was, but I really worked on it because I was determined to be a better player. And I worked on jumping as high as I could and releasing my shot at the apex of my extension.
Yeah, nobody was getting that. Nobody was blocking that shot.
That was a tough shot to block. And, you know, along the way, I just added some other things to it. But that's been the biggest difference in my career, changing my shot and really working on 1-2 dribble pull up, following my shot, because coaches always say you shoot a shot, you go get it. And all the different little things that coaches teach you when you're young, those are the things that I worked on to make me a better player.
Did you have the ultimate green light looking back in high school?
In high school, I in retrospect, yes, but I wanted to play within the team system. Mm-hmm. And because I had good players on my team, and I wanted them to excel as well. And we did. You know, we were a team, and in every sense of the word, team. Everybody had a job to do. And like I tell my teammates in Denver, my job was to score.
Yeah. So, you know, I got to be honest with you. I just want to say this. That is the most fun thing on the basketball court to do. You know, I hear Cliff.
It is, but it's one of the most fun things. But, you know, I pride myself on having an all-around game. And I love passing the ball. And in the Doug Moe system, you got a chance to make great passes.
Yeah.
Great pass. I enjoyed blocking shots. And I also enjoyed offensive rebounding because that's where you go back and get put back. So
yeah,
those are all the little things that go with the game. The whole game just excited me. I couldn't wait to get to the next game to play. If I'm injured, if I sprain an ankle, I may be out 2 days.
That's it.
It's no game management for 2 weeks and 3 weeks. I'm ready to go back. And I just loved playing. It was my art. It was like dancing on the floor for me.
Wow. Well, and you know what? I love you saying that because you sort of had a ballerina sort of feel about our ice skater. I always felt like you were about as smooth as it could possibly be. And you also, James Harden to me, he looks like he's moving slow, but obviously he can't be moving slow, but he's very graceful, right? You had a totally different version of that, but there was nobody that I can recall in your era that looked and played the game in the feel that you did. It was just graceful. I mean, that's the exact word. It's interesting your style, how that worked, but you looked like you were in slow motion to me. And we obviously know the speed of that game is the furthest thing from slow motion and how that game looked, from a viewer's perspective. Also, you mentioned injuries. My brother, Freddie, who you didn't get to meet, he studied under Andrews. He was taking care of Jordan when he played baseball, but he was the chief of staff for many years at Campbell's Clinic, and he has been the Grizzlies guy for 22 years, ortho. And then he went and did something for the NBA for the last 3 years. Now he's going back to the Grizzlies. But, importance of staying healthy and having those doctors. And now the kid, they're sitting out forever. The difference in the way you guys did it and they're doing it now. You mentioned the wording is interesting. Let's take a quick break. Alex English is my guest today. Grateful for his new friendship. Can't wait to go check his charity event out and be a part of that in South Carolina, his hometown. From one hometown to another, the act of giving probably is Alex and my most precious moments in our life, especially when you get to see how it impacts so many. Very humbling, I can tell you. And we're just getting started, good Lord's willing. Visit Mississippi.org, plan a road trip. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm finally home. I'm still trying to find my way. Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We're in cold.
Love my time right now with Alex English. I gotta ask for some forgiveness here. So this is how my mouth starts to run and I'm not paying attention. We were on the bus this year at the Contractors Against Cancer gig. This bothers me. It still bothers me and I'm going to get forgiveness right now. I was going like, what is wrong with me? And I was just running my mouth. Gwen sat over there with you on the bus and I reintroduced myself to you. I got to tell you something. You looked a little different, but I felt so stupid. I'm going like, I freaking know who Alex English is. And so anyway, Gwen goes, he's not upset at you. And I'm going like, well, I know he's not because he came to the Delta Soul. But sometimes my mind, I'm not looking. I'm not paying attention like I need to be. And that is a fault of mine that I'm working on, Alex. But I tell you what, I've really enjoyed getting to know you on this level and not just be the guy viewing and seeing you from afar. You're the exact guy that I thought you were all along, just talking to you. So, credit to you, credit to your folks, by the way, credit to your folks. I want to talk about that time now. I want to go back to your growing up and I want you to tell me the impact that your parents had, what that was like growing up in the household, siblings, were there some other sports? What was the most important thing to your parents growing up? Was it academics? Was it your faith? I mean, what was it like as a body of work looking back?
Well, Steve, when I look back, I grew up in the South. I grew up in South Carolina. My mother and father, they both, they were young, and it was tough to find jobs in South Carolina at that time for African Americans. So they both, my father left first to find a job up north, and my mother followed him later. But I lived in my grandmother's household with 13 my brother, sisters, and other cousins. And
in a what? I'm sorry, I missed that. In a what? In a three what?
A 3-room house.
With 13 of you.
It was 13 of us.
Wow.
And my grandmother was the head of the house, so she took care of us and taught us a lot of life lessons. And we learned about taking care of each other and caring for each other. I was smack dead in the middle. There were a lot of lessons learned. Growing up in the South was no fun back then, but having all of those, I call all of them my siblings, having all those siblings around me, there was protection, there was love, and there was a lot of fun. We made up games. We played games at night, and the neighborhood was just full of people. So we enjoyed growing up and really didn't know as much then about what racism was until we got older.
Right.
But fortunately, when I got to be in the 7th grade, they desegregated the schools. So
you were around then. You were around in that time.
I was around then.
You witnessed all of that. Yeah.
I witnessed it all. I can remember going to my grandmother's house on the weekend, my other grandmother, and she lived in the country, and going to her house on the weekend, and I can remember, the Klan would ride by her house in their hoods and shooting and everything. And she would say, "Boy, go inside, go inside." And we all would go inside. So, the neighborhood was we had a great neighborhood down where she lived, but that was the only thing that was kind of frightening. And one of the lessons that I learned growing up. But I got through that. And growing up, I had 2 grandmothers. The African American female is the backbone of the African American family. They do the work. Because sometimes the fathers are away working, and they do all the tough stuff at home, teaching the lessons, the life lessons. And both my grandmothers had a very strong relationship with God. We would have Bible study at home. We'd go to vacation Bible school. All those little things they taught us. So it was a lot of lessons to be learned, and today I take a lot of those lessons that I learned and I use them as I move through life now, and try to teach other people who do not value the worth of other human beings, and teach them, because when you take away the color of our skins, we're all the same. You strip us back to the bones, we're all the same. And I try and tell people that, but I know that there is an ingrained lessons that we all have in our systems. And sometimes it takes time to get it out, but to help get it out, I try and kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
And show them that it's.
You talk about killing. I'm sorry. I lost you for a second. Kill them with kindness. That's important. I love hearing that. When did that start for you? Did you ever have some resentment? Or the Alex English that I've gotten to know quickly, I just feel like it's so, if it was so far removed. It reminds me of Reggie Smith. I've asked Reggie these questions when he used to have to stay in a different hotel. He was at baseball, the Green Book days, he had to live some of that. And did he have resentment? And it turned out he did, but he said it was, he had some mentors along the way. He said, you have two choices. You can either kill him with kindness, and you can just try to realize that this is an opportunity for you to be the other person, and it will serve you well in your life. And he said he became that person. Did you ever have a period where you look back and go, I had to get through that? Because there were some unjust times when we were all growing up and you were going through what your family went through.
Yes, it was. And there were those times, and I recognized those times as I was living them. But as I got older, what happened was, along the way, there were kind white people as well.
Sure.
I mean, I can remember going across, there was a street that divided the whites from the blacks. And I would go just to make money in the summertime. I would go to the other side and I would cut grass and rake people's yards. And I had some kind people. I can remember this lady. Her name was Mrs. Bannister. And I would go and cut her grass, and I would do the best job. Cause I like, when I do that, I like to make it look good. And she would make me lunch, and she would bring me sandwiches and drinks and take a break here. And I realized that they were kind people too.
Yeah.
There were a lot of kindness. So I had to balance it out and say, well, there's going to be some, just like there are bad black people and Mexican people and all that. Yeah. They're bad, it's the same way.
Yeah. Bad
people are bad people.
Yeah.
But when you learn lessons and you teach lessons and you teach with kindness, I've had lots of lessons along the way that could have made me even angrier. I can remember my brother and I, we used to sell newspapers, and, we would stand in the middle of the street on those the midsection, and we would sell our newspapers, and it would be hot in South Carolina, just like it's hot in Greenville, Mississippi in the
exact
summertime.
Same thing.
You sweating like a pig. But we were good at selling papers, so we'd finish early, and we'd go across the street to this gas station, and we were thirsty, and I remember going in, and wasn't anybody in, because there was a sign that said, whites only. And we were little boys, and we didn't really notice it as much. But I got some water, because I was the little brother. I got some water, and then I was waiting for my brother to get some water, and this big white guy comes from the outside, and he sees my brother drinking water, and he kicks him in the butt. And, you said, you niggas get out of here. You're not supposed to be drinking from that fountain.
No way.
And yes, we were little boys, little kids. We left and we walked home. We lived about 3 blocks away, and we were crying. But we got home, and my grandmother, she took us in her arms and said, she gave us a life lesson that all people aren't that way. It's just the way it is right now. And, that didn't ease the pain, I'm sure, for my brother, but it's a lesson, it's a thought that stayed with us. Mm-hmm. All people aren't like that. So that was just one experience I had growing up that I recall so vividly because it happened to me and my brother.
I had that same situation. In the record business, I had the same guy that kicked him in the butt. I had the same guy. Wasn't a good guy. There was nothing good. I don't know where, obviously they're raised and brought up like that or whatever it was. It was obviously, I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that he would have been that guy that would have been at that gas station. Yeah. He'd have been the same guy because they were built just to have a lot of hate and not getting a lot of ignorance, to be honest with you. You can
That's
do it all,
what it is.
The great Alex English is my guest today. We're going to be right back. You're on In a Mississippi Minute. I'm Steve Azar.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Nowadays.
When I was 16, I knew everything. Opportunity grew on trees. I'd taste them, waste them.
Got a short segment left, but not with a short man. Let me just say this. The short guy on this end of the conversation is me, and I'm 5'11", but this man, hey, Alex, how tall are you? Or were you before we started getting smaller?
I was 6'8". I'm probably 6'7" now.
Yeah, I know. I think I've lost an inch. I may be 5'10" now. It hurts. It hurts. I don't have a lot to give up. You still look the same height. Alex English is my guest today. NBA legend, Hall of Famer. List goes on and on. One of the greatest scorers in NBA history. He had some sort of relationship between his fingertips and the goal and the sound of the net when the ball went in. He didn't even need the rim, and you could have even made the rim a little smaller. It wouldn't have mattered to him because I don't think I remember seeing a lot of rattles. You didn't have a lot of rattling going on. You just sunk right down in the middle and had that beautiful sound. That is one of the greatest sounds, and we call it string music, right? It's music.
Yes, that's right. Visit string music.
Yeah, visit Mississippi.org. Thank you for allowing me to have folks like Alex on my show. Check it out, plan a road trip throughout your Mississippi. Alex, so the foundation, tell me about it.
Well, my foundation's called the Let's Share Foundation, and it comes from a time in my life when I was growing up, and we didn't get a lot of the arts in South Carolina. And I wanted to, the one thing that I learned traveling as a basketball player is that there was a bigger world out there. And there was a lot of different artistic things out there that people in South Carolina wasn't getting. So I wanted to bring the arts to South Carolina.
Wow.
To Columbia, especially my hometown.
Wow.
And it started out as the Let's Share African American Arts Festival. And I would bring in, my group, we would bring in, we would raise money for scholarships, first of all, for kids to go to college for the arts. But I would bring in, every year we did it in September, we would bring in different artists. We would have dance, we would have music in the park. We would have film. We'd have speakers. Some of the artists that I've brought, Angie Bofield, John Lucien, Pieces of a Dream, George Howard, the list just goes on. We had Angie, it was just great. And then we had Gregory Hines dancers, Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Company, different dance companies, but we also had speakers and we had stuff for the kids. So that went on. I did that for 15 years, and it was always, we called it a September affair. So we had a great time with that. It got to be too much for my wife at that time, and she said, okay, we got to just stop. We stopped for about 10 years, and then during COVID, I am a member of the Family Promise organization where we feed homeless people. We house homeless people when they don't have a place to stay. Not just people that are alcoholics or drug addicts, but families. Family Promise houses, and they work with churches. And churches house them in there, when they're not using their facility. So anyway, make a long story short, COVID started and they weren't able to do their yearly fundraiser. And I said, okay, how can we make something happen that will not require everybody being in a banquet hall together? So I said, let's do a golf tournament. So I started, because I've been going to golf tournaments like yours, and people raising money. So we did that. We started it, and it was a success. And we started out just helping Family Promise, giving them money to house families. But we've since expanded, so we do other things. Like I do a basketball camp. And we give scholarships to kids that can't afford to go to basketball camps in the summer. That starts in July. We also do a STEM program with an elementary school we pick an elementary school, we do the STEM program. This one we did, this was our first year. And, young kids who were into STEM, science, technology, they wanted to learn. And, we had kids learning how to fly drones and, build robots. So we did that this year. So that's what we're trying to do, along with, helping family promise. We want to make sure that we can give scholarship money to kids that can't normally afford to go to college.
We're doing similar things.
So that's the basis.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to be there in September. How can folks contribute?
We look forward to it.
Oh, I'm going to be there. How can folks contribute to your foundation?
It's called the Let's Share Foundation.org. Let's Share Foundation.org.
Let's Share
Foundation. All one word.
All one word. Okay, guys, check it out. Check out Alex English and all that he and his bride are doing. It takes a lot, and it takes an army to have with you. I can tell you that. A lot of volunteers that give up their time.
Yes,
we experience that down here. Alex, you're the best. Thank you for spending a Mississippi Minute via South Carolina with me.
Steve, thank you, and I look forward to Greenville next year.
You're forever in your family now. You're. I hate to say it, you're screwed because you're family. I love it. Bless you, my friend. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. Grateful to spend a Mississippi Minute with Hall of Fame member, NBA legend Alex English, but even more so, what a gracious man. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.